All right, guys, welcome back into the Court Report. Sarah, Orlando, you guys, of course, helping us control this show with your chat participation and answering some of those polls. We're going to get to some of those. I just have to note, hilarious at the bottom of these polls today. These polls are not scientific. Didn't even notice that until right now. But before we get to that, I want to tell you guys about the goodies that are getting will be given away to you guys as fans this year. Last year we had those awesome collectible glasses. This year there is yet another collectible. Rip City, the Trailblazers are excited to announce this season's game night giveaways, a series of laser engraved wooden coasters made right here in Rip City, featuring your Trailblazers starting five. The first coaster, featuring Wesley Matthews, will be given to all ticketed fans on Thursday, November 6th versus the Dallas Mavericks. For tickets, you can call 844-RIP-CITY or visit trailblazers.com/coasters right now. How cool are those? They are awesome. Okay, so the very first time that I saw those, I was actually walking down the marketing hallway and I saw them and I was like, oh my God, these are so cool. Like, I didn't realize what it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a pack of coasters that you could buy in the fan shop or something. But the fact that they're going to be the collectibles, and I'm pretty sure that I picked one up, and I might be crazy, but I think there's a bottle opener on the bottom too. So there's these wooden things that you can just pop it right there and you're set to go.
Did you get a set for yourself?
No, I don't have one yet. No, I don't.
Well,
I mean, when we got our glasses, we had to wait, so I don't even have them yet. I'm really excited because it's like I have this set of glasses, and how awesome would it be to put them on a matching set of coasters? Totally geeking out about that right now, by the way. You guys, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the polls that we have. We're going to get back to talking about some of the starting lineup, especially if you guys want to keep talking about that. Let us know if you guys want us to keep going through, like Chris Kaman and Steve Blake and some of the bench and our expectations, because if that's what you want, we're going to keep chatting with you about that. If not, let's move along. So let's look at some season predictions. So this is a hilarious question, because when you look around predictions around the web, no one has any clue what the heck is going to happen in the West, especially the bottom half of it. So the question that I put up for you guys, which, by the way, these polls are going to rotate every single game day, so we want you guys to come back and take these polls every single day. First question was, what are your expectations for the 2014-15 season? And the options were Western Conference Finals, no doubt about it, which 60% of you guys think that the Western Conference Finals will be happening for the Trailblazers. Love that. Wow. Championship or bust. So I like that we also have some reasonable fans, because nobody has said, okay, yeah, we're definitely going to win a championship. Right. Maybe if we didn't put in the or bust, it wouldn't have shown that, but we'll see. The next one, and I like that you guys, again, reasonable. 30% of you say the Western Conference is tough. We are hoping for the playoffs. And it's funny that we say that, because I don't really feel like I'm worried about making the playoffs. How do you feel?
No, not worried at all.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of a positioning thing. Me too. I'm glad that we're there. I'm glad that we're finally there. Whew, it's been a long haul, right, guys? All right, and then the last 10% of you guys, it's the Wild Wild West, so who the heck knows? And I think that that's pretty much right on the money. But I really like that a lot of you guys are feeling as confident as we are, but not feeling kind of like crazy, like, oh, it's a loss if we don't win a championship, you know? So love that from you guys. Let's talk about some of our season expectations. Let's talk about the Western Conference. So why don't you guys tell us in the chat where you think the Blazers are going to end up in the Western Conference. I know that I have my thoughts. I know that mine differ from those that were shown on Courtside, which, if you missed that prediction show, it was Monday night. You can check it out on TBTV. It's Jabari Young joined Mike and Mike, and they put up their predictions as well. So, Kristen, by the way, I digress. So she said, so next year, will the Blazers be giving away pony kegs? I hope, because that would be the trifecta.
Put it all together.
The trifecta. I love what you're saying there, girl. That's hilarious. But totally awesome. Okay, so you guys tell us in the chat where you think the Trailblazers are going to end up this season. And I'm going to run through my Western Conference list of the top 8. You can put your top 8 in if you want to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my gosh, I put in 9, just kidding. So top 8. So I think the Spurs are going to end up on top. Okay. And I think it's a safe bet, of course. You know, a lot of people, these top 4 are mixed in so many different ways all across the interwebs, right? But I also think that continuity matters. And yes, it does. We saw that last night. Yes, the Mavs, great team when you see them on paper with their additions from this year and the way that they totally mix it up. But they have 9 new players. Right. 8 or 9, either way. Anyway, so they're a great team on paper, but the Spurs are just so stinking good.
They
And
are.
even when Pop rests players or doesn't travel people or he sits out
Yeah.
games, you know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
right.
they're just still so good. So I have the Spurs at the top, and I think that I might always forever put them there until I actually see them become too old
They're the
to
defending
not be there.
champs.
You know,
Defending
well,
champs.
but not only that. I mean, how many years in a row have we been making the argument that the Spurs are just too darn old?
Yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
been
For a
several.
long
Yeah.
time. Since we've been doing
That's
this show,
very
we've been
true.
talking about, the Spurs,
Yeah.
who knows what's going to happen. So
I've
I'm
been
throwing
joking.
that idea out and saying, yes, Spurs all the way. Yes,
Yeah.
I bow to the Popovich. yes,
their
you know what I
youngest-
mean?
One of their youngest players was the Finals MVP.
Exactly.
So he's done a masterful job of mixing it.
Absolutely, it's incredible. I've got the Warriors at second, and
Interesting.
yeah. So here, let me run through my top four, and then we'll talk about where the Blazers fall. So my top four: Spurs, Warriors, Clippers, Thunder. I don't think it's any surprise as to where as to those four teams being in the top four. I do think that it may surprise some people the order. The Warriors are just that team that they can catch you off guard every single night.
Yeah.
Even when you know that they're good. You know that they're good. They're just kind of, in some ways, I don't want to say unstoppable, but when they're clicking, they are. They really are unstoppable. But there's those nights that they just don't click.
True.
So it's one of those things for me where they're going to click more this year. You know, that's my thoughts. That's how I feel.
Okay.
Clippers, obviously, they're in this
Yeah.
conversation. They've been working on this for a couple years now.
Question.
They're going to be third, no doubt. There's a lot of people that have them in the Western Conference Finals.
Okay.
I'm not. I'm not one of them, I don't think. And then the Thunder. This one was tough for me because, especially knowing what's going on right now with the Thunder, and we'll get to this in just a second. But the Thunder, decimated team with injury right now, early right out of the gate. So you have Russell Westbrook and Serge Ibaka, who are the only two starters that are in their starting lineup. Granted, yes, Kendrick Perkins is still on the team as well, and he is healthy and he will play tonight, but he is not one of those guys that's going to be starting. Steven Adams will be getting the start for him instead. Weird
Yeah,
to me.
it is.
Well, you got to do what
But
you got to
then-
do when you have
yeah,
9 players.
right,
I mean, you
exactly.
can't throw out all the 3 starters that you have left and then just have who knows
right.
who coming in for the rest.
That's
you know what I
very
mean?
true.
So you got to do what you got to do. I mean, even their backups. I mean, their depth level is just decimated right now. They have 6 guys out with injuries tonight, just flat out listed as out tonight, which is just
Yeah.
crazy.
Isn't Mark Bryan on the coaching staff there?
I hope
they might
so.
have to put
I might give him an honorary win if he came into Portland with a flat top. Best haircut ever, anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone?
It
Yeah.
was crisp.
It was so crisp and cool. Oh, yeah, I love that you say that. Anyways, I digress. You guys, here's some good stuff. Okay. Let's read through the chat and see what you guys have to say as we go here. So, Drew says Clippers, Spurs, Blazers in third. Hey, nice. Thunder, Mavs, Warriors, Memphis, Rockets is who he has.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a good looking
like
prediction
that.
there.
That was good.
Blazers 247 says best case scenario for the Blazers this year, the Blazers grab the 3rd seed because OKC couldn't recover without KD. That is also another reason that I have them sitting at 4th, by the way, which is perfect connection there because you have KD gone for the first part of the season, recovering with that Jones fracture, which if you guys don't know what that is, if this is a foot, it's that outside bone right here, cracked.
Not a good one.
Very common in athletes that do a lot of lateral movement.
Yes.
So that, and then when he comes back, that whole team's going to have to adjust to the fact that Kevin Durant's back.
That's right.
Which is huge. I mean, I can't even explain the impact that a Kevin Durant has on a team, and you guys know the exact same thing. There's really just no words to explain what they'll have to do to adjust. So another reason that I do have them in 4th.
I have a different reason, by the way, but I'll say.
Oh, no.
Well, I saw the dynamic with Russell Westbrook when he was out and Kevin Durant had to carry the team. That's a different element. The mentality that Russell has at this point in his career is, I'm good enough to carry a team. He's been making that argument for a long time, and I think it's going to be even more challenging when Durant does return than people are estimating. But the largest reason that I think that they're going to have a challenge this season, and why I would probably put them in 4th as well, is because their coach, Scott Brooks, has a little bit of a hot seat that he's sitting in because they haven't won at the level that they're
That they
expected
want to.
So I think
good
that's an
point.
issue that's going to manifest itself in some unique ways throughout the season. Scott Brooks, when you're head coach, you want him to be completely comfortable and secure in his position, and he's not.
I like that thought in general, not just with the coaching, but with the entire team in general. They've had, Kevin Durant, Westbrook, all those guys together for a bit now with a lot of really high expectations, and they haven't necessarily capitalized on those.
Right.
Granted, they've been to the finals, they've done a couple things, but they haven't gotten the ring, which is when you have that kind of pressure, we talk about championship window for a reason.
Right.
So is that
That's
closing?
right.
That's
right.
a really good point. I love that. And I love this response too from Douglas. Hi, by the way. He says, really though, isn't the best case scenario an 82-0 season and sweeping the playoffs for a championship? Yes. Way to play the technicality. I enjoy that. But let's be real. I mean, there's best case scenario and then there's the realistic. I was going to say reality and I mixed realistic. It was just weird. That's hilarious. Yeah, and I like Blazer 247. He's like, yeah, sure it is, but we're talking about the real world here, and that's totally true. Another thing, talking about coaches, you guys, we're just going to go right into what you guys are talking about too. Trey P, he says he thinks the Warriors digress. It's the coaching, and he says he's not sold on Kerr. Putting on the brakes right there. Calling no way on that, Trey. This is Steve Kerr we're talking about. You saw, I mean, I feel like I can't even argue this because it's just not fair. Steve Kerr is amazing.
Yeah.
He's
a basketball mind.
He is. He was a solid, I mean, he's been a GM. Has he been a head coach before?
I don't think he's been
this is his first time being a coach. He's a solid analyst. The dude knows the game.
And he's
a
winner.
How many rings does he have? Doesn't he have like 7 or 6 or something like that? 5? Something like that with a bunch of different
teams. At
teams.
least 5, yeah.
He's got a lot. So, yeah, anyways.
And he has the players' respect.
Yeah, and I'm going to say that, and not only just because Steve Kerr is Steve Kerr, but yes, coaching makes a huge difference, but he's just a young, vibrant guy, and he's going to be a good energy for the Warriors. So that's what I'm putting. But I respect your opinion. All right, let me round out my top 8 here. So I have Blazers in 5th, by the way, Mavs in 6th, Suns in 7th, and the Rockets in 8th, with the Grizz just outside in 9th. So that is my prediction for
like
the Western Conference. The Rockets. No, here's my thing with the Rockets, you guys. So. Gosh, and I was watching this last night, and I tweeted, so many of you guys saw as I tweeted, we're watching the Lakers and the Rockets. I want to watch basketball, but who do I root for when I want both teams to lose? You know what I mean? Granted, I feel so horrible about what happened with the Lakers because that's such a bummer for Julius Randle. I hope he gets better soon.
Yeah.
Really wanted to see him play. That was really exciting.
Absolutely.
But hopefully he gets better soon. But yeah, I mean, the Rockets are I have Chandler Parsons was great for them. He's on the Mavs now. He looked really good last night playing with the Mavs. But at the same time, like, there is just this internal combustion factors with the Rockets that mixing a Dwight Howard, a Kevin McHale, and a James Harden to me is like, it's like putting, what is it that you put in a volcano, and you make it go, baking soda and vinegar? It just does not sit well together to me. And yes, they had some success last year. They won some games. They're a very offensively gifted team. Yeah. But to me, there's just going to be, the way they jumped over the cracks last year, to me, is not going to happen again this year. So they'll make the playoffs. They're a good team. They're going to make the playoffs. But I don't think that they're going to be what everyone thinks that they're going to be. And I think that people have such high expectations because James Harden, fantastic player, obviously, but because you are combining and adding a Dwight Howard. And I don't think that Dwight Howard is as great as everybody says he is. I'm sorry. I'm not on the Dwight Howard train.
So you're saying they're going to make the playoffs simply because they're talented, but not because of all of the other reasons that make a great team. And I would have to agree with you because there are just elements to that group that don't gel and aren't to the level that you would expect a cohesive group. And we've talked about the Spurs, and we're in the West where cohesive
you have to have that
play has to be a part of your
There's
recipe.
no we're just talented, so we're gonna make it. That's not gonna happen in the West. The West is just too darn deep this year. And Blazer 247 in here is like, oh, Sarah's going for the Western Conference mix-up with the Suns coming up fast. He's like, I used to live in Phoenix, so I'm okay with that. Plus, we'll see seeing the Rockets fall off is always good. You know what? I don't think it's that much of a mix-up. Do you remember how good the Suns were last year, surprising everyone? And now they still have that young core, and they're the guys in the West that they're still playing with nothing to lose.
Gotta watch out
That
for them.
is something to be said for. And I'm not saying, and let me also put this in here. I'm going to add in the kind of wins that it's going to take to get here because it's going to be just like last year where the 7 maybe even the 6 through 10 spot is going to be crammed.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
going to be crazy, you guys. And so I am saying, I'm not even going to put a win total on it. So last year, Trailblazers finished 54-28, good for 5th, right? Is that where we were at 5th? Yeah, 5th last year? 6th maybe somewhere? I forget.
Yeah.
One of the two. Anyways, I'm saying 48-51 wins this year gets you the 5th seed for the Trailblazers. That's what I'm going, somewhere in there.
Good logic.
Yeah, I'll toss out my, why don't you guys tell us your finals predictions as well, and then who you have as the NBA champ. What's your finals prediction? West versus East.
You know, I've got to go with the West. I've got to go with the San Antonio Spurs. And until someone dethrones them, I've got to go there. I love Kawhi Leonard's game. The fact that we watched, I shouldn't say we're watching, we've watched and witnessed a star being born in the finals. And with Popovich and the way he plans on using them, I mean, the Spurs beat a talented Mavs team without him
Totally.
last night, and they looked really good doing it. So, with the exception of a few turnovers, I just got to go with them again. They just look really good right now. It's just unfortunate that they're in our conference.
That is a very nice way of putting it. My NBA Finals matchup, I have, don't kill me, you guys, the Thunder versus the Cavaliers, and I have the Cavs.
Oh my gosh!
I have the Cavs winning it.
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. But that's
Okay,
what I got.
all
That's what I
right.
got going. That's what I got going for these guys. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the polls again and talk about some of the matchups for tonight. Because actually, I'm gonna tell you what's going on with this poll, and then we're gonna talk about the matchups after a quick break, guys. So. Question is, which matchup are you most excited to see? There really only are 2 answers to this question, and this got pointed out on Twitter a couple times because here is the starting lineup matchups, you guys. Damian Lillard versus Russell Westbrook. Woohoo! This is going to be awesome, right? Wesley Matthews versus Andre Robertson. So, not sure who that guy is. Nicholas Batum versus Perry Jones. Another guy that's just not in their starting lineup. LaMarcus Aldridge versus Serge Ibaka. That's your second option.
That's your second option. That's right.
And then Robin Lopez versus Steven Adams. We know Steven Adams, of course. He's, I think, the Kiwi. He's either Kiwi or Australian. I think he's a Kiwi. And he's got the gold tooth. Remember,
Right.
and he's the one that's always picking fights on the Thunder team.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yes, he is.
So him and Rolo. That'll be a fun matchup to watch, anyways. And then you got Kendrick Perkins, who's going to come in off the bench. But as you can see, you guys, this lineup looking a little. It's got the yikes factor to it because
Yes, it
they
does.
are just struggling with the injury bug. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the expectations for tonight's opening night game. Why don't you guys, while we're at break, put in your favorite keys to victory, what you think the Trailblazers need to do to make it happen tonight and get an opening night victory, a win not only in the conference, not only on the books, but of course in the Division II, which is very, very important. So quick break. We'll be right back.